Trigonometry, we have four quadrants. This first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant, where we call it as all school taught children, where all is positive. Every trigonometric function in the first quadrant, such as 30 degree, a 45 degree or a 60 degree, which you come across the first quadrant, is all positive. Some second quadrant angles. Let's look at what are the second quadrant angles. You should know this is 0 degree, this is 90 degree, this is 180 degree, this is 270 degree and this is 360, and the clock goes on. After one complete revolution, the 360 degree will become 360 degree, and then 720 degree, and then 1080 degree, and then fifth revolution, it's like first revolution, second revolution, third revolution, fourth revolution, 360, so 1360, when you add you get 0, 1440. So you should know that for every complete revolution, how many degrees? 0 degree, 360 degrees, 720, 1080 and 1440 degrees is when the clock again comes here. Okay. So if we ask you an example of second quadrant angle, you can either do it as 180 minus or 90 plus. I prefer doing it as 180 minus, and 180 minus 30 is 150 degree. 180 minus 45 is 135 degree. 180 minus 60 is 120 degree. An example of third quadrant angle can become, you can arrive at it as 180 plus or 270 minus, and 270 minus is an odd integral, so I prefer 180 plus. 180 plus 30 is 210, 180 plus 45 is 225, 180 plus 60 is 240. Similarly, to arrive at angles in the fourth quadrant, 360 minus 30, which is 330, 360 minus 45, which is 315, 360 minus 60, which is 300 degree. These are the examples of some second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant angles. Suppose they ask you a question, say take in second quadrant, sign only can be positive. The question may be cos 135. A cos 135 degree can be written as cos 180 minus 45, where 180 is an even integral of 90, 2 into 90. So then cos will remain cos 45 only. The cos will remain cos, you can copy this. And this is the second quadrant angle where the sign only has to be positive, but this is about cos, so minus cos 45, so minus 1 by root 2. The same thing can also be written as cos 90 plus 45. But this is an odd integral, 1 into 90, so cos will become sine, and sine 45, and this angle 135 is the second quadrant angle, so in which the question is about cos, so then the answer has to be minus. You should only look at the question. The question is of cos, the question is not a sine, so the answer has got to be negative. So let's take an example of third quadrant. It's tan is what is positive in the third quadrant. Let's write sine 240. Supposing they ask you what is sine 240, you know it's sine 180 plus 60. Or you can also write it as sine 270 minus 30. And this is even integral because it's 2 into 90, so you can copy it as sine 60. And this is which quadrant? Third quadrant angle. All school torture children, in the third quadrant tan only is positive. The question is about sine, so minus sine 60, which is minus sine 60 is root 3 by 2. This is odd integral, 3 into 90, so sine will become cos 30. According to your 10th standard portion, odd integrals, the sine will turn to cos, and a cos 30 is also root 3 by 2, and given that's the third quadrant angle, and the question is not about tan, only tan is positive, so minus root 3 by 2. So I hope you understood how, if they ask you different angles, a larger angle, how you can write it as sine 180 minus or 180 plus, or 360 minus, you know, if it's a sine 330, a sine 330 can be written as sine of 360 minus 30, where this is an even integral, it's 90 into 4, so it will be sine 30. And which quadrant? This is a fourth quadrant where cos only is positive. The question is about sine, so minus sine 30, so minus sine 30 is 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2. So these are the things that you should know. And apart from this, I also taught you radian measures, such as 180 degree in a protractor is equal to pi radians. Therefore, a 90 degree is pi by 2 radians. A 60 degree is pi by 3 radians. Yeah, and A 45 degree is pi by 4 radians. A 30 degree is pi by 6 radians. And suppose they ask you what is 270, they know this is 0 radian, this is 90 radian, which is pi by 2 radian, this is pi, and to find this 270 is pi plus pi by 2, which is 3 pi by 2 radian. This is 2 pi radian. So I want you to memorize all the radians. This is 0 radian, a 30 degree is pi by 6 radian, a 45 degree is pi by 4 radian, a 60 degree is pi by 3 radian, a 90 degree is pi by 2 radian, a 180 degree is pi radian, a 270 is 3 pi by 2 radian, and a 360 degree is back again 2 pi radian, a double of pi, 2 pi radian. Suppose they ask you for an example of a second quadrant angle, you know it's pi 180 minus 30. Here it's pi minus pi by 6, which is 5 pi by 6. A 180 minus 45, a pi minus pi by 4, which is 3 pi by 4. A 180 minus 60 degree is pi minus pi by 3, which is 2 pi by 3. Like that you can arrive at examples in terms of radians. And a pi plus a pi by 6 is 7 pi by 6. A pi plus pi by 4 is 5 pi by 4. A pi plus pi by 3 is 4 pi by 3, and so on. Fourth quadrant angle is 2 pi minus pi by 3 is 5 pi by 3. A 2 pi minus pi by 4 is 7 pi by 4. A 2 pi minus pi by 6 is 11 pi by 6, and so on. Like that you can arrive at radian measures of angles in different quadrants. Then next is I taught you certain formulas such as sin A plus B. Sin A plus B is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Sin A minus B is sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. Then adding the two formulas, sin A plus B plus sin A minus B will be, first term will occur twice, 2 sin A cos B, because this will get cancelled, right, when you add, and when you subtract sin A plus B minus sin A minus B, the second term will come twice, which is 2 cos A sin B. Then replacing A plus B as C and A minus B as D is 2 sin C plus D by 2 cos C minus D by 2. The same formula where A is getting replaced as C plus D by 2, B is getting replaced as C minus D by 2, and a sin C minus sin D is 2 cos C plus D by 2 sin C minus D by 2. So next is cos A plus B. Let us write what is cos A plus B. Is cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Cos A minus B is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. Okay, and again going to add both of this, which is cos A plus B plus cos A minus B is 2 cos A cos B. Next is cos A plus B minus cos A minus B is minus 2 sin A sin B, because you already have a negative and this will also become negative if you subtract. So next is replacing A plus B as C and A minus B as D. You will get 2 cos C plus D by 2 cos C minus D by 2. The same formula where A is getting replaced as C plus D by 2, B is getting replaced as C minus D by 2. A cos C minus cos D is minus 2 sin C plus D by 2 sin C minus D by 2. That's about this formula. Okay. So now let's look at a formula where this is also theta, this is also theta. It will become sin 2 theta. Hence the sin 2 theta is 2 sin theta cos theta. Similarly, let take a cos A plus B formula here. This is also theta, this is also theta. You get a cos 2 theta, which is cos square theta minus sin square theta. A cos 2 theta formula is cos square theta minus sin square theta. Now you know by 10th standard portion you can write this sin square theta as 1 minus cos square theta. So you get a new formula of another formula is 2 cos square theta minus 1, or a cos 2 theta can also be written as 1 minus 2 sin square theta. So different formulas for cos 2 theta. So from this there is going to be another formula which is born, A formula for a cos square theta is simply 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2, and from here the formula for sin square theta is 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2, born out of this and this basically. Okay. So next is a half angle formula, wherein in 2 theta theta achina, theta will become theta by 2. So sin theta is 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Cos theta is cos square theta by 2 minus sin square theta by 2, or alternative formula 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sin square theta by 2. Just copying from this formula, you get a half angle formula, and from these half angle again you get one more formula. Can you see? It's 1 plus cos theta is 2 cos square theta by 2, and a 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2. So you need to memorize these formulas, very important. The derived formulas of these two are very important. It is still here that I have taught you in my first class. Become clear with this. Okay, and of course the triangle that I taught you, you don't have to memorize the tabular column, you just have to remember this triangle where it's 1, 2, root 3, where you have a 60 degree and a 30 degree. So from which sin 60 is root 3 by 2, cos 60 is 1 by 2, sin 30 is 1 by 2. From the triangle you can infer, and it's a 45 degree angle, it's 1 root 2. So sin 45 and cos 45 and tan 45, you can just look at the triangle and write. Similarly, the scientist mark this as 1 comma 0, the 0 comma 1, minus 1 comma 0, a 0 comma minus 1. The clock starts in trigonometry, the 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, and x value always stands for cos. Cos 0 is 1 and sin 0 is 0. Cos 90 is 0, sin 90 is 1. Cos 180 is minus 1, sin 180 is 0. Cos 270 is 0, sin 270 is minus 1. So you can also infer from the graph and say the values instead of memorizing. It is still here that I have taught you. Become clear so that we can continue the next class.